Hello, 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 moneymakers. It looks like the video is frozen. That is not good. Okay, we're gonna go without it, and I'm gonna turn it off because it's annoying to see a frozen Larry the Jam. All right, moneymakers and premium members, we're gonna do the twofer. It's a twofer Tuesday. You're gonna get the premium folks that if you joined, you're going to get access to the moneymaker data. Moneymakers, we have three, not one, not two, but three picks today. It is a big day on prize picks. It is a massive day on Bovada. That's all to tell you. This game should be fascinating from an overall off. It should be fascinating from a pick standpoint. All right, let's go. Moneymakers, if you haven't had a chance to look at the series guide, you may want to jump on that to kind of get a context of some of the things we're going to go through. Ronel Blanco versus the Miami Marlins tonight. Jesus Sanchez is really the only real pick for the Miami Marlins, the 393. I mean, you can consider Chisholm and Bell, but I wouldn't. Uh, and on Bovada, we got to go for Sanchez over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs to get the pick. So that is your Miami Marlin pick. But I will say, as you're about to see, when we go down to Trevor Rogers versus the Astros, we're going against Trevor Rogers. So there's two ways you can. Well, there's multiple ways you can play that in Bovada. You pick the way you want to play it. I'm going to pick over 2.5 earned runs. That's a minus 140 in Bovada. All right, here's what it looks like. You see the sea of red, and I was actually going to also take Altuve and Pena in my picks, but you see this little blue spot and you see 25% off speed pitches thrown by Trevor Rogers. I think he's going to go heavy off speed pitches against Altuve and Pena. Therefore, took them out of the 5 pack of picks I was going to go for. But we're going to go with McCormick, Alvarez, and Diaz. McCormick, we have to go with the over 1.5 total hits, runs, and RBIs because as of right now, there's not a total bases pick in Bovada. That's a plus 110. Alvarez, 379 over 1.5 total bases, and Diaz, 378 over 1.5 total hits, runs, and RBIs because, again, he's not, as of 5 minutes ago, in there on total bases. So, guys, I'm not going to label any specific pick a best Larry the GM pick of the day because there's you take your pick for the Larry the GM pick of the day. But I mean, guys, there's action to be taken all over the Astros on Bovada if you want to do more than that. So as you can probably see that how we're gonna get the prize picks now. One of the things is Taco Two. They call it Taco Tuesday. They reduce the odds on a certain number of players. Chris Sale is on sale. He's a normally would be a five would be 7 strikeout option versus Arizona, and he's down to 5.5. I'm going to take the over on that in a power play, but I'm going to spread the power play. So the first power play here will be 3 picks, and I'm going to go Trevor Rogers over the 2.5 runs, and I'm going Chas McCormick over zero point 0.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. All right, so those are essentially should be 3 goblin type picks because they're giving us a strike out and a half for Chris Sale. So we're getting Sale, Rogers, and McCormick. A $20 power play pays off at 70. Okay, so 20 investment, 70 payout if all 3 hit. Then what we're doing is we're taking the other 2 Astros on our board. We're taking Alvarez and Diaz. we're doing goblin type picks for those. Zero point 0.5 total bases, 0.5 total bases, and then we're going Jesus Sanchez. Guys, there is no really goblin pick I felt great about. So I'm going Jesus Sanchez over to 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. So that's probably the most pick there. But that's a three person parlay for the power play. That'll pay off at 56. All right, so now we've invested 24. Now we've invested 40. You'll get back 126. Guys, if you like that pick for Chris Sale, jump in the article, click on the link because you got about 13 minutes to get that one in because that game starts at 6 p.m. in Boston. Now I am going on a 6-pick flex pick. I'm taking basically all that, putting it together in one flex package, but I'm ramping all the picks up to difficult level. I'm only spending $5 on this. So my total investment is 45 tonight. And either one of the two picks before, if they hit, will pay. If I get 70 here, I'm in for 45. 70 will pay for the 45. 56 will pay for the 45. If this hits 5 of the 6, it'll pay 15. All right, so I'm paid 5, it'll pay back 15. If all 6 hit, which I don't think is going to happen. But if it does, we'll be making 150 tonight. All right, so let's break it down. Chris Sale, again, we get the 5.5. Again, if you want to jump on this, click on the link. Jesus Sanchez for 1.5. We'll stay there. Now we're going to ramp up all the other ones to demon level picks. Well, I guess we left Trevor Rogers at the 2.5 just because I'm still a little concerned about pitching picks. So being clear with you there. Yainer Diaz, 0.5, 2.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Chas McCormick, 1.5 total bases. Jordan Alvarez, 1.5 total bases. So that's what we're doing for the picks tonight, and we shall see how they play out. So I got a message from Clint, and I feel like I need to check the lineup to make sure no last minute changes were done. If they are, then we may have to bail on some of these picks. Looks like Alvarez still in there. All right, looks like everybody I have is still playing. All right, good. All right, so there you go. That is the moneymaker picks, guys. I will put the tables in here. They're there. I mean, I can show you to you briefly on the Excel spreadsheet if you want to. I just haven't got them in there. Here's what it looks like for the Marlins pitchers versus the Astros. You see the sea of red. There are certain pitchers, like when we have Hoeing on tomorrow night's game, Brian Hoeing, I guess is how you say his name. That it's another sea of red. He's a righty, so even Singleton and Loperfido, and I mean it'll be interesting to see how we set the lineup tomorrow. You see, I'm not sure who they're pitching on the 11th. By the way, it looks like the Astros plan to pitch Jake Boss on the 11th for the Astros. So we'll see how that plays out. Let me check something here. Yeah, Jake Bloss for the Astros on the 11th is what I saw earlier. All right, you guys, Larry. I don't want to see all these tables. All right, this is what the Marlins look like. You know, see Blanco a 315, Fromberg a 305 tomorrow. I don't have Jake Bloss on the table yet. Maybe I'll do that before I add it to there and get it in the Moneymaker article. But there you see the rest of the bullpen. I'll probably leave this for tonight, and I'll change the table for tomorrow when we get, or for the 11th when we get Bloss in there, so I know who to take out of the table. All right, so that's that. So there you go. There's your Moneymaker update. A little bit of a ramble there. Sorry about that. But Moneymakers, go do your you do the job you want to do. Take your picks. Let's go look at the series article. All right, so here we go. We're going to do the premium series. We're going to look at where we are headed into the series against the Miami Marlins, which, frankly, guys, are one of the worst teams in baseball. I mean, they really are. They're we'll get to their record in just a minute, but this is not a good team. And so Astros 46 and 44, 2 games behind. You see where they are. This is a good offensive team, either sixth or seventh in year to date WRC plus OPS. Pitching is 23rd or 18th. Depending if you're looking at it from a FIP minus standpoint or ERA standpoint. ERA took a little bit of hit in the last series with the massive runs scored. They're now 8th in the league since June 1st. Here's where we are from a playoff pitcher standpoint. You know, you got your 3 division leaders, you got your 3 current wild cards, then you've got Astros in the group of 4, a group of 4 that are vying for those playoff spots. And you see the Astros are only 2 games behind in the division, 3.5 games behind in the wild card. The Royals are 1.5 games behind in the wild card. And so you'll see how that plays. We'll see how that plays out. The Rangers I put back on the table because they're only 5.5 out of the division relative to the Astros and the Mariners. They kind of snuck back up a little bit. So we shall see how that plays out. The Rangers have gotten some pitching back. Oh, another news story that came out today. Apparently McCullers has been shut down, at least temporarily, because he's not making the progress. That's not good. And that definitely says to me we need to trade for that Astros need to be a buyer at the trade deadline. Let's look at it from a statistical standpoint. This Marlins team, 32 and 58. Again, one of the worst teams in baseball. Just an atrocious hitting team. 78 WRC plus, a 632 OPS, guys. Imagine having to sit through that on a daily basis. Actually, incrementally, a better pitching team than the Astros. A 104 FIP minus and a 4.10 ERA, slightly better ERA. A little, that's a pretty good margin for FIP minus. Let's look at the batting line. And guys, you could just glance at it. There's no superstar bat. Josh Bell is probably the best bat in that lineup. Josh Bell could be traded at any point this month for the Marlins. But he's not. I mean, Josh Bell's not even having a great year. Now, that data for year to date may be a day or two old. I don't think so though. Let me look real quick about Josh Bell. Because I know there's some interest in Josh Bell. No, Josh Bell, 83 WRC plus. So why would we trade for Josh Bell when John Singleton's out hitting him? I did. What are we trying? What are we trying to accomplish by getting a Josh Bell? Little tidbit for folks that are wanting a first base trade, guys. If we want a first base trade, that trade has to come from somebody that actually is going to help the lineup. Josh Bell, as of so far this year, would not qualify, and he's projections for the rest of the year not even. I mean, not that significantly better than Singleton. So this lineup has basically 6 players that basically league average projections, and 3 players that are significantly worse than league average. Nick Fortes, their catcher. Well, he's a catcher. And he's an MLB catcher. So, guys, in their bench, pretty bad. Dane Myers looks like I don't know much about him, but so far this year he's been doing well. Maybe they'll start playing him more. So there's your lineups. Let me check something as I'm looking at the tables built. So overall, the Marlins have, again, I told you they were hitting 78. That's a D minus grade. And and they project to hit 99 WRC plus the rest of the year. Yeah, Dane Myers, rookie, Rule 5 drafted in 22, so looks like he's playing at least part time for them. Yeah, the Astros currently 111 WRC plus, project to 117. They're being hurt a little bit by Kyle Tucker not being in the lineup day in day out. You add Kyle Tucker to this lineup, put him back in this lineup, and it's going to be a juggernaut. No major weak links with Tucker in that lineup. Oh, let's look at when you look at the Astros offensive runners and scoring position, which was another theme that we've been playing out early in the year. Really, we're struggling with runners in scoring position. Has not been a significant problem for the Astros lately since June 1st, hitting 134 with runners in scoring position, 133 WRC plus with any runners on. That looks pretty good. Um, Up there with the rest of the stats of the team. Let's look at the pitching. So the pitching for the Astros, as we said, the Marlins are slightly better from an ERA standpoint. The actual FIP 410, which is a 104 FIP minus, 432 FIP. All right, we can take the Hertz commercial down. 432 for the Astros, 107 FIP minus. Actually, their pitching projects to be basically where they've been, 409 and 417 for the Astros. So you see that the projections of the staff are significantly better. Now, one thing is when I put this table together, I was like, wow, look at this bullpen. This bullpen is actually, so I think the lesson I take from looking at just glancing at this view, all right, let's just pay overall. We got to get to some of these starting pitchers now. The actual FIPS for honing are significantly better than the WRC plus. I mean, the xWOBA data I just showed you when we went through the moneymakers. So this pitching staff does pose some challenges, but they do have some weak points. And frankly, Trevor Rogers, who they have tonight, is one of those weak points. When we find out who they're pitching on the 11th, we can comment on that. The Astros look to be putting in Bloss, as we said, and they're on the 11th. So Bloss projects to be a 498 WRC plus player. That may be updated. I'll update it if it need. That's data from four to the last series related to the projection data. So we'll see where that goes. All right. So one of the things we want to talk about as we look at also these pitching staffs is look at the starters versus relievers. It looks like you can get to the starters it depends if you're looking at from ERA or FIP, right? FIP, these two teams basically both starting staffs are pretty hittable. The relievers definitely better for the Marlins from a FIP standpoint. So my advice, looking at just overall, is like, hey, get to the starters you can get to, and don't be waiting to the 8th or 9th inning to play hero ball like we've seen our Astros do in several series. Well, let's look at the xWOBA tables now. All right, I'm getting a phone call. Sorry about that. Guys, let's look at the Astros batters from a standpoint. You can see again one of the themes relative to the Astros batters is left-handed pitchers. They as an offense, they're better versus fastballs. Not so good against the breaking pitches. Not so good against off speed for several of the batters, and you see some exceptions there. The bench, there's a lot of blue and a lot of light pink when you look at the overall offense. This is not a great offense versus left-handed pitching, and which is kind of unusual from where the Astros have been. You see versus the right-handed pitching, where they've been, which is a little bit better. But basically, these are two I guess what I'll say about versus right-handed pitching is they don't have as many significant challenges. Like Aloper Fido, Salazar, Cabbage, even Kessinger are not really great options versus left-handed pitching. McCormick is, and that's why you saw him in our picks tonight, as a play for the moneymakers. Versus right-handed pitching, you can see the plays here, and where we're headed, and versus the righty tomorrow. There's not a lot of weak links when you put the starters in there. Pitching wise, you can see the Astros again. They are prone to give up hits on fastballs, and you see versus left-handed pitching, left-handed hitting hitters. You know, Josh Hader, no shocker, the lefty is really good versus left-handed hitters. And you see how it plays out, and you can see the problem zones are Seth Martinez, Rafael Montero versus lefties. Blanco has a little bit, and that's why when we look at the Marlins tonight, Jesus Sanchez, who overall not great versus lefties. I mean versus lefties is really good versus righties. That's why he's the play for the moneymakers tonight. So this is just the tables. Premium members, you guys have access to these tables. Spend some time, look it over, see what you see, and then you guys should have the data at your hands. All right, there's the matchup data. The Marlins just are not a very good team. The Astros should really need to do good. Let's hope they can sweep at home. I know the city is in pain with a lot of damage. I hope that folks can enjoy the game. I hope folks are able to get to a spot. I know I've been tracking the power being restored, folks. I just know that I'm praying for you guys. My old hometown got whacked really hard by that hurricane, and so thinking about the people in Missouri County. And guys, let's all rally together, and let's hope the Astros can do something at home and give folks something to be happy about in an otherwise challenging time. All right, guys, take care. Have a good day, good night, and